Hello and welcome to Reviews. As always, I'm Plume Noir, and I have to say, Pain Week just about broke me. That was really hard. I did not even get around to Superior Spider-Man, but I'll be completely honest. That wasn't the whole reason. I've been working. I haven't had a day off in a couple of weeks here, so I need a little bit of a break, and then Female Furies came in today. Furies, not furries, Furies. And this series has been bad, and we're only 3 issues into a 6 issue limited series. And I was kind of hoping this was not canon. Um, and this book has been bad. This has been Me Too, the book, and it's been done so heavy-handedly. You know, um, Apocalypse is supposed to be a bad place. The Furies are bad people. Now, I'm not saying bad things. Some things shouldn't happen, but these are not good people, and that's why there's the whole kind of redemption of Big Barda. And I'm bringing that up because this book takes a huge shift, and I have some theories about this book. And yeah, I'm just going to pop right in because there's a bunch I want to talk about. So I'm going to probably go through this book really quickly because there's been something I have not said in the previous videos that I thought that this series was leading to in the sixth, by issue 6. And it happens in this issue. And so I'm going to hold off to the end. Obviously, I don't show the ending of the book, but I do need to talk about some spoilers. So I'll wait to the end and we'll talk about it then. um, so yeah, then we start off with Granny Goodness's plan of having Beautiful Dreamer from the Forever People re-inspire the Furies, mostly orally. Um, this plan is dumb. um, so at the end of the last issue, she has Beautiful Dreamer use her powers, and it's giving everyone nightmares. Okay, fine. Beautiful Dreamer says she can only work with what's around her. And so, of course, she's on Apocalypse. We have all these bad people. Of course, there's not really much hope. Things to give Beautiful Dreams. She has to dig in and find it. And Granny is using this to try and fix Orally. When her power is actually not a bad idea, just not for what she's using it for. Basically, use a Beautiful Dreamer to get into their heads, find out what they want, and use it against them, to inspire the Furies. But that's not what she's doing. That wasn't her plan. Why not? Why would she go through all this to get Beautiful Dreamer? She's risking a lot, and it for very little payoff. So when Dreamer says, "Have mercy," Granny, that's it, mercy. And she finds something soft. Granny had a dog named Mercy. Mercy, you're still my most loyal friend. Whatever, fine. And Granny was kind of hot back in the day, wasn't she? Anyway, so with that, Beautiful Dreamer is able to get inside their heads and find out what they long for. And of course, we get a little of a precog thing with Barda, with Scott Free, and she hasn't really met him yet. Um, this panel, Mad Harriet is talking about her dream is that she had the anti-life equation in her head all this time, and that pure glee on Darkseid's face. At last, you're a mad genius, Harriet. I know. I would hold that against this book because the art in this book is not good. But I'll allow this because it is a dream, and besides, that just makes me chuckle. As an example of the art, this is it's just kind of bad. So anyway, she's using this to get inside all their heads, but of course the real thing is to get into Oralie's head, and she's dreaming of dancing and for Willick. But Beautiful Dreamer reaches out to her, and says, um, can you help my waking nightmares stop? Help me escape first, and then I will help you. How? Why? Come, I'm just over here. So basically, it's a lot of dialogue between the two. Um, Beautiful Dreamers trying to get Orly to leave. Um, and Orly saying, my fate is sealed. No one leaves Apocalypse. I've struck my deal in hell. And Dreamer tells her, we want the universe to be free, to have free will, free love. So I ask you, what kind of life do you want to live? And of course, Orly's like, is this a trick? Because she's seen herself, doing what she loves, which is dancing. And on Apocalypse, I think I mentioned before, I wanted to use the Aqua Teen Hunger Force, dancing is forbidden. Um, which I used that in previous episodes to kind of hint to something that I didn't want to spoil. Um, but I am going to spoil it at the end of this issue. Orly ends up waking up. Sisters, wake up. They cannot hear you. My dream is too strong. Come find me. So she does find her with Granny Goodness. And, Granny, what have you done to us? You feed us lies. The enemy is in our house. And Granny says, stand down, girl. I did this because of your weakness. If you had let Willet get the best of you and just played along. Don't listen to her, Oriel. I am not your foe. This world is. Help me. And yeah, so what's a little slap and a tickle so we can achieve our glory? To a real fury. Nothing. If you knew what I endured. And have a little standoff. And I'm sorry for that. But to use a sworn enemy against your own daughters? This is all your fault. No. Just blame everyone else. That doesn't give you permission to abuse me. I will be free. You would not kill your granny, so she attempts to, but Granny just disarms her. But Beautiful Dreamer conjures up Mercy, and we find out that Mercy had to, Granny had to kill Mercy for Darkseid. So yeah, she had to kill something she loved. So they make a run for it, Beautiful Dreamer and Mercy, and um, Orly says, "You are my enemy. I am at war with you. I have seen inside your heart. I know what you have endured, but I understand that you must do what you must. I surrender." But then Orly's thinking, can you help me start a new life? Here, my friends don't believe what I know to be true. I don't trust myself anymore. And of course, Beautiful Dreamer says, I trust you, and I believe you. Because, you always trust and believe, listen and believe. Okay, I'm only pointing that out because this is the dialogue. They were working backwards. I trust you, and I believe you. On its own, it's not bad. But it was a fact to get to that line, they had to have Orly say, I don't believe, I don't trust myself anymore. It's kind of, this book is not as bad as previous issues when it comes to the whole Me Too thing. Again, this is Apocalypse. It's a bad place. It is hell. I may sound like, call me a horrible person, but rape, I'm sure, happens all the time. And I hate to say that, but it's Apocalypse. It's supposed to be bad. This is not Connecticut, something like that. I just pulled out a random state, nothing against Connecticut. So they boom tube out of there. And then we get Shazam. God, that's this week. I gotta go see that. At this point, the rest of the Furies wake up. And of course they're disappointed, like waking from a good dream. And Granny comes in. Furies, we have been invaded. Beautiful Dreamer has taken Orly. You mean she escaped? Quiet, of course. Lashina just kind of lashes out. A nice little bit of foreshadowing. She knows what's up with Granny Goodness here. Barda, Lashina, come with me. They can't have gotten far. And so, here's where it gets kind of weird. So, Beautiful Dreamer and Orly have escaped. They boom tube out of there. They go to the boom tube, the three of them, checking to see its last destination. It's here on Apocalypse, the slums. And yeah, the art is a lot of this kind of running in thin panels. And a lot of it doesn't look right. that one and here. Um, but then the boom tube comes someone. Someone's coming from. The exact coordinates are slipping away from me. Apparently, it's scot-free. And Granny, Darkseid requests your presence in the war room. I do not need an escort. I obey his orders. I have a theory about this book. I have a theory that this got some editorial influence. Um, because this issue, and I'm going to just say this right now, got toned down quite a bit from the previous issues with the whole rape storyline. I don't feel comfortable saying that, but um, that's what it was. And I get the feeling that the art is kind of bad. I kind of wonder if some of it was hastily redrawn, some pages and some things changed. Because here we have, and I presume this is scot-free. It could be anyone on Apocalypse. You know, kind of putting his finger up, like whispering to Barda. That little look doesn't seem to quite match what's going on. Um, so we go on to Darkseid, waiting for Granny. And, he asks her to come closer. He dismisses everyone else. And, you're the only one I trust, goodness. Tell me what troubles you, my lord. Granny is here. Scot-free has been bewitched by Hyman. Darkseid is nuzzling up to Granny's chest for comfort? There's so much wrong with this panel. It's either he's doing that, which, A, he's nuzzling up to Granny, which Darkseid wouldn't do. Or B, Granny took it upon herself to come along his side and pull him to her chest, which Darkseid would not allow. So, anyway, he thinks that Hyman has been basically filling Scott-Free's head. And of course, he gives Granny some crap for, she was supposed to beat the softness out of him. So, in the midst of this escape, while, one of the Forever people is running loose with her own warrior, I guess you don't turn down Darkseid, because she just sits down and has dinner with him, and, I don't know exactly what he's shooting his Omega beams at here. And he pulls up some grapes. Just dinner time with Darkseid. And she's trying to turn this into her favor. And he wants Scot-free back, and she does bring up that one of my girls is missing, Orally. She's been erratic of late. We'll get her back and punish her if she helped Beautiful Dreamer. So Darkseid knows Beautiful Dreamer's there. He thinks Hyman got her there. So let's get back to this. So the girls are just waiting for Granny. Furies, I received an inside tip as to who aided Beautiful Dreamer. It was Orally and Hyman. And then we get these, what? Faces. It's just the art in this. She acted strangely when we were at his place before. And then, Granny, which side do we play for? Our side. If we deliver Hyman to Darkseid, we will win favor. We all advance. And Orally, we recondition her if she's fallen out of line. We still have use for her. A lot of talk about uses for her, so they go, we go to Hyman's refuge. Orally is there with Hyman and Scot-free. She's dancing. Look, she's dancing like someone in a dream. And Scott says, it's so rare to see beauty on Apocalypse. I like it. And the Furies bash in and they fight. And I have to stop here really soon. This is probably a good point here. Hyman and Beautiful Dreamer have shown me we can go back to Earth. Quiet, you little idiot. What do I have to do to save your pretty little neck? And of course, I've told you what Willock does to me. Please, let me go or kill me. Don't make me go back. Enough. Stop lying and you can have your life back as it was. Of course, she, yells, I'm not lying. And they call me the crazy one. Take her home and be some sense into her. A good training session will help straighten her out. And yeah, poor Orally. And there's a point in here where, I can't show it, but it's where Granny talks about the same thing happened to her. You either slap and throw a drink in their face, or you endure it. And so Granny says she just endured it because this is apocalypse. This is what happens. And yeah, I'm going to stop it there. Excuse me. I have some big issues with this book, and it's not for what happened before. I really think editorial stepped in and um, changed some things in this book. Like I said, some of the art doesn't quite match up. Um, and I am going to talk a little bit about the ending here. So if you don't want to know how this issue ends, you might want to stop right here. Um, so yeah, with a little bit of spoiler space. Um, Orly is not a new character, but she was not a member of the original Furies. Um, she actually came into Scott's book, in the Mr. Miracle series, and she was killed by Willick for dancing because dancing is forbidden on Apocalypse. Now, I knew about that, and I've been trying to leave hints through the video that I thought that's where this was going. And the fourth world is, I think people know broad strokes, but they don't know really deep into it. So I've seen some other people talk about Orly being a brand new character, and she's not. Um, she was actually from Mr. Miracle's book. So I thought that this series was going to lead with her being killed in issue 6. Um, and so I kind of think that. Sorry, I just cracked my ankle. Did you hear that? Oh, that was loud. Um, I kind of thought that this series was leading toward that. It was just going to be more Me Too stuff, more uh, torture porn of her, until the end of the series when she would finally snap or whatever, or she would dance and lash out and end up getting killed. She ends up getting killed by Willick in this issue in a really dumb way, and she does die dancing. No, she's not killed for dancing. He has her dance, and in a way that ends up torturing her. Again, I'm not going to go completely spoiler, so um, I kind of think that editorial or someone stepped in on this book because um, it wasn't very good. But that is not my real problem with this book. My real problem is what they've done to Orly here. Um, I won't be surprised if I hear people talk about this. Um, you know, Gail Simone really got big for the whole women in refrigerator syndrome, which she's backed off from, as a writing trope. But that's really where she got her start, was, talking about that. And it goes back to Kyle Rayner's girlfriend being killed to inspire him. And there's a lot of there's a trope for that where the heroes or someone the hero's wife or girlfriend or someone close to them gets killed to inspire them, and it's not a good writing trope. I'm not saying it's a bad trope, but it is a little overdone. And it happened a lot in comics, and like I said, Gail Simone actually kind of named it. I think her it was called Women in Refrigerator Syndrome, and I think it was based on her old blog from 25 years ago at this point. But anyway, I'm bringing this up because this issue seems to really be the demarcation line where it goes from a focus on Orly to Big Barda. Now, in the original Fourth World, Big Barda was the leader of the Furies. Orly came in later. She wasn't the leader. Here we see that she is the leader. She's the most favored. Everyone, loves her. And of course, what Willick happens, and the other Furies are just like, yeah, deal with it, deal with it. Now, this issue, if you notice, Orly's not even on this cover. You know, um, unless that really bad art's supposed to be her, but um, yeah, this we're going into Big Barda, and now with Big Barda's story, her and Scott Free escaped Apocalypse because Scott Free, was Darkseid tried to break him, and Darkseid couldn't. That's how good and pure Scott Free is. Um, Big Barda, she was she was raised by Apocalypse. She is perfect for Apocalypse. She is tough. She can handle anything that can, be thrown her way. The two of them are really opposites in that regard. If you ask me, excuse me, my voice here. If you ask me the best couple in comics, bar none, I will always say Mr. Miracle and Big Barda. They are the best comic book couple. I mean, I put them way ahead of Superman and Lois Lane or or Peter Parker and Mary Jane, any of them. Those two are the best number one couple that, should always be together. Now, here's where I'm coming to my point. I'm bringing this all together. Big Barda, escaped Apocalypse because of Scott Free. I'm going to sum it all up. When he originally escaped, she didn't go with him, but and then she went later. But in summary, it was Scott that inspired her to leave Apocalypse. It had nothing to do with Aura Lee. It was the two of them. We're getting the seeds in this issue that the reason why Big Barda is going to be leaving the female Furies and leaving Apocalypse and going to Earth, is because of Aura Lee and what happened to her friend. And we see at the end there's a funeral and we see her all teared up. She was really hard on Aura Lee, and it's really kind of weird to see them. These characters weren't really friends. They were never really friends. If you go back to the Fourth World, the original, and you see her even talk about, I will avenge you, my friend. Now, we do get that beautiful beautiful dreamers thing here, where we have, she sees her future with Scott, and they have a kid together, which hasn't happened, but we see that's what she wants. It's kind of a precog dream. But they put Aura Lee, Cecil, whatever her name is, Cecile Castellucci, Cecile. I have to practice saying that, like Cecile Castellucci, puts Aura Lee in the position that she's the head of the Furies, so she can be. I'm just going to call it Me Too because I don't want to keep saying rape. I don't know if YouTube's going to, hit me on that, but she gets Me Too'd, she gets pulled down, she gets killed, all to inspire Big Barda to get off of Apocalypse. You can see that where this is going because they have a little confrontation at the end, and of what we've seen in the previous issues. It was really ham-fisted. This issue with uh, the whole Me Too, like I said, I'm using that as code here, is it was very heavy-fisted. It was heavy-handed. It was bad. It was poor writing. This issue pulled that down. It's a little bit more subtle, I think, but now it completely shifts that they're going to use her death to inspire Big Barda, and that's what we're going to do. This character has just had a crap show first 3 issues and just going to tear her down, tear her down, tear her down, only to inspire Big Barda. You're going to change the continuity. You're going to change it to fit the story, to tell your Me Too story for that? Really? What a waste of a character. This is the other issues ticked me off, but this one, it's like I'm really upset about that. A female writer, I would like to think, can do better than that. It's like every bad trope that she should know better. And it's one of these. I'm mad, but I'm using my disappointed father voice. Because it's who signed off on this. And that's why I said I can't help but think that this issue was changed, that editorial stepped in, and some of the art. I mean, some of the art's been bad, But, like the one thing with Scott, where he's whispering to Big Barda. It looks like he's whispering. Or this issue sucks. And we're halfway through the series. Where's it going? This is a mess. Full six. Full six. Oh, get this out of here. See, I'm glad this didn't come out last week. I could not handle this as part 5 of Pain Week. That would have broken me. That would have broken me as a person. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will be back. We've got a few more issues. That Avengers thing, that War of the Realms started. Yeah, I don't care about it whatsoever. But it's here, and I guess I'll have to check it out. So, anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.